Welcome to Texas Truck Channel. I'm Craig.
And I'm Brian.
And that's Maverick. And today we've got a puppy with us because, wait, why don't we have a dog with us?
It's a Subaru, dude. It came with the car.
It came with the car.
They dropped it off with a dog, dude.
Okay, well, let's review this thing.
Welcome to Texas Truck Channel. I'm Brian.
I'm Craig.
And this week we've got something very good for the world in the eyes of the public, the Subaru Crosstrek. It's the people's champ. I'm gonna walk through a couple specs for you real quick. Just on the Monroney, this guy right here is coming in right at, people always wanna know, $34,635. That includes destination delivery. And also this puppy is loaded. It's got the 2.5 liter flat 4, and it's got the hardened carbon stereo, and it's got crystal white pearl paint. It can't just be white, it's got to be special. And this is a special car because, well, they've done a trick, Craig. Subaru has made a third generation Crosstrek that looks exactly like the second generation Crosstrek, and I love that. I love that if you're an owner of this Crosstrek, one, you're not left out when it gets restyled, and two, if you go to get the new one, you've got an evolved, refreshed product that still fits what you want from it. And it is updated, but if you're not a Subaru person, you may not recognize it. I think that's pretty cool, actually. So let's bring it in, let's check out the nose. This face right here is exactly like the Outback. And I know this because I parked next to one that was white the other day and I got them confused. I had to look at the hatch to know which one was mine. Pretty cool. You do have the good Subaru headlights, and let me tell you, Craig, we haven't talked about this off camera. These headlights, I think, steer better than the Mazda headlights, which we've called the best headlights in the market forever. I don't know, jury's out. The brightness in the Mazda might be better, but these things, the way that they steer, it's just really, really good. It looks around corners at curves. You also have detached fog lights down below. They're LED. I still appreciate that. And what do you notice right here, Craig?
It looks very Subaru-y.
It does. You also don't see a big blob square radar sensor, and that's because Subaru puts it all up here. All their cameras, they've got 3 cameras for eyesight, and it's not buried in the headlights or the grill or anything like that. I prefer that, and you actually don't notice this when you're driving. Even though it's a huge array, they've got it configured in a way that you almost don't realize it's there. So that's basically that. Let's check out wheels and tires. All right, come on down here. These are Falcons. They are highway tires. They're not KO2s. Don't worry, you can swap that later after you buy it. But they are quiet. They handle just fine. They do exactly what this thing needs to do, but they are not an off-road tire. They're gonna be totally fine for inclement weather though. You get rain, maybe a little bit of snow, you'll be okay because you have all-wheel drive. The good news is they're not 19s, they're 18s. They're 225, so they're 55 18s, and they have enough sidewall.
And this is the limited. A lot of manufacturers on the premium one want to do 19.
They do a 19, and like a lot of times the designer would go, no, it needs to have the aesthetic of a 19. No, Subaru did the right thing. They kept it an 18. Ride quality is excellent. Fuel mileage is really good as well. We'll talk more about that in the drive. But part of that's because you don't have this massive wheel weight in every corner. Good job, Subaru. All right, coming around the corner, you've got this silver mirror cap that matches the brow in the front. That'll be there on any color Subaru. Craig's laughing at me because I made a second cut on that. And most importantly, Craig, you see this?
That's serious.
Look how much throw you have with this thing. That is a real roof rack, and you can put a real Instagram tent on your roof. That's cool. I like it. In fact, it's such an iconic part of the design. If you see one without it, you go, oh, that's the stripped one. You're gonna want the roof part no matter what you do. If you bought one without it, get it anyways and put it on afterwards. All right, ready? Oh, it opens right, there's no button inside. Oh, okay, well, look, they won on the lid. It is plastic, it's not dinky and metal, I like that. It is a cap, which is kind of just silly, but you know what? In a Subaru, you don't scratch the paint because it has cladding. You don't even need the holder. So, half pass, we'll give them half pass. Now, styling out back, let's check that out. In the rear, you've got the traditional Subaru lobster claw, or maybe it's a, I'm not sure, is that what that is?
It's a clam, clam hand.
Okay, yeah, clam hand. Then you've also got a good blocky corner down here on both sides, and a diffuser, which is not for aero, but it is completely for looks, and it looks good.
Oh, that's not for downforce?
There's no Nürburgring on this thing at all. You do have Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive. Every Subaru ever made forever and for always, since like what, mid-90s, has all-wheel drive. Nothing is different here. We will test this on our hill later, so stay tuned for that. I'm really excited about that. But I like the blocky design. You've got more of that gray brow in the back, and just generally a good, handsome look. I think it's time we check out under the hood. All right, boys and girls, there's no boost in this one, but let's see what we have to work with. Oh, that's a light hood. Almost threw it off the car. I was expecting it to be heavy Japanese steel. That's probably because it's made in Indiana, not in Japan. This is not a J spec. It's a 4S spec. So It's American, and that means it's just a new platform and it's made here.
It's team assembled.
Oh, team assembled, that's
crafted.
what it means. Team crafted. Well, Team Crafted gave us a prop rod to use, so I'm gonna put this right here. And wow, it's the modern flat 4 Subaru we've seen in everything. And there's nothing wrong with that. This is the 2.5 instead of the 2 liter. It's good for 182 horsepower and 178 horsepower, I'm sorry, torque. And look, I'll be honest, this paired to the CVT transmission, pretty good, no complaints. We've had this power plant in the Impreza already, and somehow this one feels faster. It shouldn't because it's taller and has more wind resistance, but I digress. This must be a ringer. It just seems to work better than the other one.
Does this one come with or without the RTV issues?
I don't know. I'm afraid to ask or even pop the oil pan off because I've got a feeling there's something down there. If you're a BRZ owner, you know what I'm talking about. Something else I want to bring in here. The oil filter is up top, just like all Subarus are, but there's actually an oil cooler mounted underneath this, and you need to be cautious when you change your oil to make sure you put that on all the way. Ask Corey at GT Garage Talk what I'm talking about there. He'll be happy to tell you on his Crosstrek review. So all that covered, all the power out of the way, let's hop in the interior, see what Craig has to say.
Alrighty, moving on into the all-new 3rd gen Crosstrek. Let's see what we've got back here. Oh, Brian, we got plenty of space, but we got some goodies before we get to the space. Look at this. Back here we get some mountains climbing, and then look at this little Crosstrek. Isn't that cute?
Okay.
So anyways, that's pretty cool. And then we get this mat back here that's got more stuff. You know, you're in the mountains and river, that's a river maybe. I'm not sure what that is. But that's a really nice mat that it comes with underneath.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's do the spare tire check. Does it have it?
I don't know.
Oh, it's got an actual spare tire.
And a real jack and everything.
And that's what this car is about. That's kind of the theme of this car. Simplicity and the things that people like, they've kept it. They've kept it all. They haven't gotten rid of any of it, and they've kept it. They've added this. This is a nice little big gulp, or you know what else Subaru's known for?
Animals.
Animals. So goats, dogs, cats, whatever. Probably dogs, hopefully.
Yeah, probably dogs.
Dogs, put a little treat bowl there. That's pretty cool. You got your little hide your goodies or your dog. Maybe you can hide your dog back there.
Sure.
So that's good.
Smuggling your dog.
Yeah, smuggle your dog. And then you can pull this down and let's see how much room we get because this is just really a hatch. Nice handy handle. That's easy to see. You got the center armrest is locked. So what I'm going to do once. Oh, we got it. You can see the handle, it's easy to pull. So you pull that and you flip it down. Our seat's a little far forward, otherwise it would go all the way down. In fact, let me go ahead and do that.
Wow.
Okay, that's with the seats all the way down. It's not a complete flat fold, but it folds down very well. Look at all this space now. This is a huge,
lot of room.
Functional hatchback or almost wagons, what's happened here. So that's pretty cool. Let's move on to the second row. All right, moving on to the second row. Let's start with the door here. You get the textures in this car are not luxurious, Brian, but they're quality. You can just tell it's got some durability. It's going to last a long time. It's not going to wear out. You get the nice pocket for your cell phone. It's not going to fall through the little door pull. And then you got usable space down here for your hydro flask or anything else you want to put there. Pretty nice. Getting in, we've just moved the seat up a little bit, but there's plenty of space for a regular size adult. I'm 5'9". There's a sunroof in here, and it's not terrible, even though the motor is down a little bit. I also get a nice armrest with 2 cup holders. Look at that. Very nice.
It's high, it's not low.
Yeah, and a USB-C with 3 amps or USB-A with 2.4 amps and a mat pocket for one side because you don't want backseat drivers. But most importantly, Brian, let's see if a 6'4" goofball fits back here.
Okay, goofball initiated. Ooh, the seat bottom's good. And the roof is questionable, but look, there is a sunroof motor in front of me. And yeah, look, if I needed to and the front driver or passenger was willing to be a little bit forward, I can slouch to make it happen in a lean, but this is definitely not a cross-country cruiser for me in the back.
You wouldn't want to do a Crosstrek in this.
I would not.
Or maybe get the model without the sunroof.
Yes, possibly.
Okay, through the front. Moving on to the first row, let's start with the door again. You get a nice, soft, padded armrest here at the top, which is really nice. When you rest your arm, it doesn't hurt. And then your armrest down in the middle with the center pull works too, because you can put your cell phone there and it doesn't fall. And then plenty accessible usage for your hydro flask spot or water bottle. Very nice. Getting on into these seats, which they spend a lot of time with this 3rd gen. They focus on several things. One, 10% stiffer chassis. They also have, they really focus on the seats to make them more comfortable, and they focused on NVH. More on that on the ride and drive here in a minute. But look at this nice orange stitching. I think that's really cool. This comes with the limited package, which we're in now. I like the gray and the black. I think that looks pretty good. This is Brian, that's actual carbon fiber.
Is it? It feels like it.
No, it's not actual carbon fiber. But
it feels textured,
but it feels like it is textured and it is durable. Again, all the materials are not luxurious, but they're quality. You can tell they're quality, and that part's really nice. Let's start this puppy up and see what we've got going on here, because Brian, there's some things they've done that, again, simplicity is the name of the game in this car, and they've just kept it that way. You see that gauge sweep? Those are actual dials.
Yes.
Those are, see, look, it's got a needle that moves when you actually do stuff.
It has a range and an indicator.
Yeah, how about that? I know it's wild, I know it's crazy, but that's pretty cool.
Wait, and they look good, by the way.
They look good. You can actually, well, the center display, you can actually get your fuel mileage and that sort of thing. We've averaged about 32 miles per gallon. I'm sorry. Today I averaged 32 miles a gallon driving to Brian's at highway speeds. Our entire time we've had it 28 miles a gallon.
That's pretty good, because when I drove it, I was doing about 22, because I was just city driving monkey, basically.
Right.
So that's pretty good numbers.
Yes, very good. And then moving on to the center stack, we get the 11.6-inch big display in the limited model, which is controversial. Some say it looks a little outdated already. Some say, well, who cares? It works. Yeah, I mean, it works. In the lower trims, you get a split screen. You get a screen here and a screen down here for like HVAC, and a little more buttons. So maybe if that's your thing, go for the lower trim, but this works fine. Actually, it does the portrait mode of the Apple CarPlay quite well. In fact, let's pull it up so you can see it. I think this, usually it's wide, and car companies struggle doing it this way. This actually works quite well. So when you're playing a song or something, it works. The split screen's pretty good, and you get plenty of info. I like that. I mean, it's actually it's not bad.
They've done a better job at that than I think the Ram Uconnect.
Absolutely, absolutely. Moving on in here, the controversial HVAC controls that are soft touch. I don't like that. But I tell you what, they're always in the same spot, and you can always find them. It's not hard to find. And you get a physical button for the temperature, and that's what you really need. Most importantly, Brian, though, despite all this modern tech, simplicity. Volume knob, tuning knob.
That's all we want.
That's how you do it. It's not complicated. You don't get a 360 view camera, but you do get a decent backup camera, which works, and really no issues there. It could be better, but it works. It's functional. Up here at the top, pretty cool. You get some displays that you can change, which are nice, but most importantly, Brian, let's get to X mode, wherever that is. There it is.
You had it. Yep.
There we go. So we got X mode, so we can change it to snow, normal, deep snow and mud, that sort of thing, because it's Subaru and you off-road these things. Brian, and then we keep things simple. Look, traditional shifter, not gimmicky. It's just what it is, very straightforward and not complicated. But Brian, that's paired to something that we're going to talk about, and that's what we need to move on to next, and that is the ride and drive section. It's a CVT. Let's see what it does. All right, Brian, we're in the 2024 Subaru Crosstrek 3rd Gen with a 182 horsepower 2.5 RS motor.
Yeah, well.
And WRX steering.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay.
Hit it.
$2,200 RPM launch, brake torque. 40, second gear, fake second gear, 50, 55, fake third gear, and 60 miles an hour.
The number with me in the car on this run, this is its 5th run of the day.
Okay, yeah.
10.55 seconds.
And this is the small motor, right?
No, this is the bigger motor.
Okay, well look, without Craig in here, 8.95 was had. Without heat soak. I think that's completely acceptable.
Except that's the bigger motor.
That's my complaint. And look, I'm not complaining about this car much because I think it's a great car. In fact, we're looking at one of these for our mother to get.
Yes, that's how good it is.
That's how good it is. But as just, if Subaru's listening, maybe the base motor is 2.5 and the optional is the turbo.
I'm just saying.
It'd be a ripper.
Maybe a Crosstrek XT with the turbo would be fun.
Look, we've driven the Outback with that motor. It's a great motor.
It's a fun motor.
It's a fun motor. Yeah. So anyways, and this is a good motor too.
It's fine.
Yeah. It's refined. It's not the EJ. It's not going to eat it. Spring lands and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, nobody's buying this to get 0 to 60 times, so it's okay.
No, it's totally fine. Now let's talk about ride and drive. Suspension first.
Here's what it will do. We'll get out of Whole Foods parking lot still quick.
Oh, and efficiently, yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, it won't offend anyone either.
Sorry.
You can't even do burnouts in this. You can't even piss anybody off. It's great. Which for us is probably a good thing. Yeah. So, ride and drive, suspension. I'm just going to get out of the way.
Oh, this is the most important part of the drive.
Absolutely. There are dampers, I think, bolted to the corners, but they are not doing much. And what I mean by that is that it rides really, really smooth over most non-turbo style driving. But the moment you find a big impact, you find the bump stops like that. Yep. So spring rate and shocks are very, very soft. And so it's meant to be driven a certain way. It's meant to be wearing hemp and kombucha in your hand. You don't want to spill it. That's how they tuned the suspension here.
You're right. And the second most important thing is the NVH that they did improve in the 3rd gen over the 2nd gen.
Yeah.
And that combined with the soft ride it's a very comfortable ride.
Very comfortable and very refined, actually.
It is not a sporty ride at all.
No.
To your point, you cannot push it. But over all road surfaces, in Texas, we have very coarse roads.
We do.
And then we also have smooth, and then we have concrete, and then we have
got it all.
Gravel
Dirt.
roads and country roads and bad roads in my neighborhood. It rides good over all those.
And that's probably the most important thing. They nailed that. Powertrain, smooth, refined. CVT, it is a faking automatic.
Yes.
And let's park real quick. It has 8-speed. It has preset ratios. The CVT will shift at program points as if it's an 8-speed. I'm here to tell you it's the best CVT on the market today because it fakes its automaticness really well.
Look, we usually call each other with all the little quibbles and complaints every time we have a car. Hey, did you notice this? You notice that?
All the time, yeah.
We didn't call each other once with this car and say, man, that thing is terrible.
Well, you had one rattle.
I had a rattle, but
I've had trouble replicating it on my roads.
And it's probably specific to just this particular car.
Right.
So, that's to be fair.
But
so
this thing's a banger. I love the gauges. That's freaking awesome. And the steering is actually
this car
totally
does simplicity well, and it doesn't do anything to piss you off.
At all. No, not at all. And it fits, by the way. It's really, really roomy.
Yeah.
So, and the chassis is stiff. It's definitely stiffer than the last gen. I can tell for sure. So, all I covered, I think it's all we need to nail on this. I mean, if you've got hemp, you've got dogs, you've got kombucha, you've got coexisting bumper stickers, you're going to love this thing.
Absolutely.
And anybody in between. Thanks for watching. Or anything else?
That's it.
All right. Remember, if you like this, make sure to hit the like button. If you want to see some more, hit subscribe. If you want to make sure you don't miss anything, hit the bell. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
See ya.